Hello and welcome to Aligned in Soulful Success. My name is Kavita Milwani, and I am an intuitive success and business coach specializing in helping empathic entrepreneurs to have purposeful, profitable business aligned with their true selves and their strengths. And so today I want to talk about how to get unstuck with your business. Do you feel like you've been at a certain point in your business, either not really getting started in starting your business, maybe staying in the kind of planning phases, or have you had progress but just got to a point where it just seems like no matter what you're doing, it's not moving you forward? And so most of the time, if you're feeling this is pretty natural as part of a business. So, as part of a business, it is so natural to reach as you're moving on to something else and to the next level. There will be things that come up, right? Things that will stop you, some challenges that happen. Okay. So, what most people do when that happens is they figure out a new strategy and they look for new strategies. A lot of people tell me they attend free classes and webinars and things like that, which I'm not saying not to do that. But what I am saying is that may not be what's actually stopping you. Okay. And so before you start to go down that rabbit hole of listening to lots of things, training, figuring out what the next strategy is, and doing more, or maybe you just think, I need to do more of what I'm already doing. So if your whatever marketing strategies you're using, you just say, well, I just need to do more of that. And that is how I am going to get past this point in my business. And this stuckness could be at an income level, or the stuckness could also be at this point of work level, right? So, like the overworking, or maybe even feeling stuck with the type of work that you're doing now. Maybe you want to make some changes. But anyone at time there's that need for that change, we can often go into just doing more, right? Or more of what we've already been doing, or gathering a lot of information, and that helps us feel like we're doing something. So there's nothing wrong with training and getting information and learning strategy, but to really get unstuck, before you start to learn more things, before you add more things, before you take something else or learn something else, I really want you to, in order to get stuck, you really need to look inward and you need to look at what is stopping you. And I've done a few episodes on subconscious mind and your conditioning. And your subconscious mind is often what is stopping you, what you feel about where you're at, what you believe is possible based on your conditioning. And some of it may be conscious and some of it may not be conscious. Maybe some of it's subconscious or unconscious, right? So those things are most likely what is actually stopping you, right? And so we tend to focus on, like, what are the things I need to do to make the changes that I want to get past this point where I'm like stuck, right? And so I'm asking you to do what maybe even be counterintuitive, and to look at what's happening inward. Look inward and really take a look at what you are feeling. What do you believe about where you're at? What has been your life experience? What has been the life experience of the people around you? We grow up and tend to be around the same type of people that have the same type of beliefs that we do. And then that confirms what we already believe. And so if you believe something, if you believe that whatever income level that you're at is what's possible for you, and really what's possible in your industry, then you're going to find confirmation that that's true, right? And you will stay where you're at. If you believe that there's only one way for you to get unstuck and it needs to be learning a new way to do strategy or a new way to do business, right? If you believe that, then that's actually going to be true and you're going to find evidence that that's true, right? Instead, if you really check in and say, okay, so I know I believe these things, I have these beliefs, and are they actually true? Even if you want to go further and say, like, where are these beliefs coming from? Where in my childhood? And a lot of these conditioning happens before we even can remember, right? Before the age of around 7. So you may not even realize where it's coming from. What you can see is what are you seeing happening around you and how do you feel about that, right? What have been in the past, what's your go-to thing that you do when you feel stuck? And most likely that thing doesn't usually work, right? So when you go inward and you look at the conditioning and you work on your subconscious mind, then you get to really see what's stopping you and work through that and work through the feeling of that. And that's where, of course, a coach comes in if you're willing to work with a coach, and or you can do some self-coaching, right? But it's different than figuring out a new strategy. And then after you go and work through that, if you still want to learn something new and you realize that, you know what, I'm doing this because I'm just comfortable doing it and I just have done this way so long. So I actually do need to learn a new way. If you actually feel that, then you can check in to see what is it that I need to do? What is it that I need to learn? And then you look for that and you come from there instead of that kind of frenzy that can happen when we're stuck, right? So if you think about like this idea of, being in like a they use that story. I don't remember which animal it was. Like if you're in like a ditch and you put a bunch of of animal, like the same type of animal in the dish, and everybody's trying to dig themselves out of the ditch, and you're looking around and everybody's doing the same thing, so you think, well, that must be the way, right? Instead of the one that will think about it outside of the box and think, well, if we help each other, if we start to kind of climb and create a ladder, we don't have to dig ourselves out, right? We can actually use that and then help the others out. Okay. And that involves thinking differently. That involves going past the conditioning of what you're seeing around you, right? When you look around at that scenario, everybody's doing that. So that must be the only way, right? That's how I'm conditioned to believe is the way to get out of this. I'm asking you to think like the one that is like, oh, this is not the way. We've been taught that this is the only way because that's what I believe. And I'm looking around and all the people around me are doing the same thing. But there is actually another way. And what is that? And how can I shift my beliefs about that? And how can I feel differently about that and trust that this could work? Right. And, when I use this example, that's a really simple example, right? When you look in that bigger picture of your business and you're stuck doing the same thing and it's not working, then why are you stuck in that? Why do you think this is the only way? Just learning a new strategy might not be enough if you don't go into the beliefs of what you think is possible for you, right? And so what I'm asking you to do is to go to that, go to what you truly think and believe, and then from there, taking that action that's aligned, right? And we can often not see our own challenges. Oftentimes it is about that, you know, people around us that can see things that we can't see, and that's why it's helpful to receive support through mastermind, through coaching, so that you can see the things that you can't see. And I will say that every time that I've been stuck and I decide that I'm going to seek support from an aligned mentor or coach, that's helped me move past my blocks. And I want that for you. So, whatever it is that you are stuck with, I want to see you move past that. Okay. And sometimes we can't see our own stuff. And so if you want to share with me, I'd love to hear from you. What is some area that you're feeling stuck right now? And what are the beliefs that you uncovered around that area? Right. And so then you can start to work on that and even go deeper into what's unconscious and what are the subconscious beliefs there. And the shadow work is so helpful for that, right? So um, I love to hear from you. Send me what you're stuck with, and I will respond. You have my contact information through the you should have it below, right? And until next week, I'm wishing you aligned and soulful success. Take good care. Bye.